What's up, guys?
What's happening?
What's going on?
All right, Halenville Live, Sunday, July 11th, 2021.
My Van Halen halls.
Yeah, dude. Van Halen cough drops.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Hope everyone's doing good. We got the analog kid, Charles Green, Tommy down below, John Conklin. Welcome back, John.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
See you, sir.
Thanks for
And
having
we
me.
got the legendary R2, R3 locking nut back with us tonight. How's it going, dude? Hadn't seen you in a
All
little bit.
right, man. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, man. Just been working hard, but glad to be here today. I can't miss this topic.
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
Yeah.
R2, real quick, I always forget to ask you, is that painted behind you? I think I asked you once, but I forgot. Your stripes, is that painted or is that like a wall hanging or what is it?
This is I had it up hanging up here, but
That's
right now
what
it's
you
over.
have behind. Okay.
Yeah, but now
That's
it's hanging
awesome.
over my
Now,
amp.
where did you find that? That's what I want to know.
Van Halen store.
Oh, they do have it there.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, they got
Every time
the
I go back and check, it's like sold out.
yeah. Pick up one, pick up two, man. That's what I did. I picked
I
up
know,
two.
right?
Yeah.
Great.
That's right.
And I saw when we were off the air that you got the hex hider too. Do you like those?
Yeah.
Oh, don't they just
Yeah.
save you like
I love them.
where's my key? I'm looking around for it. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
got
bought
one in
some
the package
hex
right now.
hiders.
oh man. I mean, it's not a sponsor of Tony's show, but you know, I mean, FU Tone has them, or the Jungle website, if you will, has them. They're
Yeah.
great. They're just
They're
phenomenal.
great, man. But yeah, I use them. I bought them on every single guitar I have with locking nuts on it. And
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
it's convenient, man. I always look for it now. It's there.
Yeah.
It's boom. You never lose it.
Yeah.
I got them on mine now. I just
Excellent.
bought a pack
Kitty
of
cat.
4. Yeah.
They're nice, man. They're awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about the two 1986 albums, 5150 and Eat 'em and Smile tonight. Yeah, that
There you
one
go.
and that one. Yep.
Now, excellent.
Yeah. That was a very weird time in the Van Halen world. Yeah, we at the time didn't know what to think, but we soon warmed up to both of them. Yeah, we did.
Oh dear Lord. Quentin James is in the chat.
Oh, that was
What's going on?
Yeah,
Quentin?
sorry. I was listening to it, Tony, but I got distracted here in the chat too with the Q-Meister.
Quentin, now we can start. Quentin's here.
All right,
Yeah.
Quentin, would you like us to start? He asked someone, what was it, 3 minutes or 2 minutes from the end today? Could you please start over just for me? And there was,
All right.
what, like 300 people watching or something?
All right, we will.
No,
That's it.
glad to have you, Quentin.
Nice to see you, Quentin.
Good to see you, Quentin.
Dean Lowry, Lenny Lou and Mary,
Dean,
Keith
up, Lenny Lou?
Campbell, Christopher Live Sour,
Christopher. What's up? bud?
Lenny Lou said Emmett and Bottom Todd.
Blacktooth Fox.
Black Teeth Fox. What's up, bro?
He
What's
got
up?
he's across the pond and
My English brother.
He won the guitar pick for Iron Maiden and he
You threw
already
that pick
received
across
that.
that far,
He
man.
did.
Yeah.
He's a super nice. He reminds me of Tony too. Just nicest guy, Blacktooth Fox. I talked to him once
Right on.
on air, and he's just the nicest laid back dude.
Very cool.
Andrew is here. Nice to see you, Andrew.
Never skip.
Andrew.
Never skip.
Let's
Andrew's
see.
Andrew's 10 out of 10.
Love that show, dude. When I can't fall
Yeah.
asleep because they're on at like 2, 4, 5 a.m. Perfect for me when I can't sleep.
Mike Rogers is here. Nice
What's up,
to
Mike?
see you, Mike. So Andrew's show, let me give him a shout out. This Friday night at midnight, he and his crew are gonna explore and take a look at part one of part two. There'll be a part two of it, but they're gonna examine the live without a net video. Yes, that's going to be a good show. Everybody go watch British Electric Blues 5150 show.
Check them out and give them a sub if they do,
Support
because they
them.
really put a lot of time and effort in, and help them grow that channel. I mean, they do hours of research a week, and if you want to know, I've gone on and honestly albums, because I was born in the late 70s, albums that were a little bit before my time that I had heard growing up, but I didn't know that well, and they will dissect every track, like this guitar solo. And
didn't they just do Revolver? They're doing the Beatles or something.
Revolver. Yep. Analog Kid was in there, and T-Cake was last night.
He's got a lot of great content. Go check him out.
Tons of content.
Absolutely.
Go deep.
And his Van Halen shows are top notch. So if you want more Van Halen, British Electric Blues, him, Brad, and Kurt the Rev. Yes, good.
And we all know Kurt's Van Halen knowledge. And Brad is, oh my God, he's a monster guitar player, man.
Yeah, I was listening to Brad's a few of his songs. They're unbelievable, great stuff.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, I went on Apple Music yesterday. Yeah, he really is. He really is great.
Very cool, man.
Well, I was wondering, because you see these humble people, and I'm like, I've met a monster guy that's a guitar player, and they're just real laid back, not even touching a guitar. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna kick ass. I know it.
Right.
And then I hear his stuff, and I'm like, damn, he's good.
Yeah,
he's a great player. He is. Let's take care of a couple of matters of business. One of us here in the chat has got a lovely piece of new gear. But first of all, let's see. Neil Daly, check Neil out if you want a guitar made. Any type of guitar, however you want it, he will custom make you one. His links are down in the description. Hit Neil up.
You too can have a Frankie just like Tony's.
Yeah.
Look at that, man.
Yep. And
that's nice.
Our friend Brendan B. Square.
So cool.
He custom makes cigar box guitars. His links are also down below in the description. Hit him up and he will make you a cigar box guitar for whatever you want.
Get off my lawn!
Yeah.
Like he's got Wolfgang and Kramer style headstocks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No two are alike, and he'll make you yours any way you want it. Yellow and black, white and black, red, white and black. And all right, so those of you with tattoos, Ink the Original Essential Tattoo Care, high-grade formulas with organic ingredients to hydrate and protect environment and reef safe. Fight the fade. Take care of your ink. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So R2 got something to show us, dude.
Oh yeah, let me go grab that real quick. Dun, dun, dun. Real quick, it's an honor, and thank you, Tony, for having me on the show here to hang out with a bunch of Van Halen freaks and to have me show this bad boy off, man. Here, real quick. This is what you want to look at right here.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Look at
Made in Japan.
That's a Japanese.
The rare sought after
special.
Japanese Wolfgang.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
The one everyone wants and cannot get. Where did you find that? Man, gorgeous.
Dude,
Guitar Center.
Wow.
really?
Wow.
Look at the bird's
that
eye in there.
bird's
Look at
eye.
that.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Nice.
You must, R2, you must have
Beautiful.
been diligent. I know I've talked to guys that have said, and you've told me this before in the past, I was looking for something, you said, watch Guitar Center, and Steve from Boston said the same thing. Watch Guitar Center every day.
Watch Guitar Center, man.
You'll be surprised the stuff they get in that you guys were saying.
Yeah, all my Wolfgangs that I bought were from
That's
Guitar
like a
Center.
7A bird's eye neck. Like, that's
Wow.
insanity.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how that looks in person, because on camera it even comes through.
Yeah.
yeah. If you go to my channel, I just made a recent video where you can see a close up of this.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has the stainless steel
Stainless?
vintage frets,
Now, do
the
you
USA Wolfgang pickups, the low friction and high friction knobs. I mean, awesome.
dude, you can't. I think that's why they went so fast and why they're still so sought after, the made in Japans, because for what the price point is for them, even now it actually went up a little, but you can't beat what they are. I mean, in my mind, they're nearly identical to what is a $3,000 or $3,500 guitar.
And that's
you know what I mean?
That's another
just made in Japan. It's really the only difference.
And I just looked at the receipt on September 11th, right before Eddie died. I bought the USA Wolfgang from Guitar Center used.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome deal. And you should see the bird's eye on that thing. That thing is
was that the one that you've
unbelievable.
played before? Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's a black cherry.
Yep. It's like museum quality neck.
Oh my goodness. So ever since I felt that stainless steel feel and the Wolfgang neck, this I knew was going to just be the same. So
now, seeing that Wolfgang on your hands, I realize it puts into proportion just how big your hands are. I never realized. I know you're a tall guy, but I never realized.
Yeah, look at this.
Wow, I'm so jealous.
Jeez.
Okay, so I can save my money to buy one of those that you're holding, but how do I get those big hands?
I know this. It feels like a toy, and it feels light too.
You need a bigger one like Greg Koch. You want a quarter inch bigger the whole way around on his signature Reverend, so it doesn't look like a miniature on him. Wow, congrats, man. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
Really beautiful, man.
I wanted to show off to all the Van Halen freaks here, man. So yeah.
Well, and I'm glad it went to someone that can play it and that can play the Van Halen stuff on it too. No offense to anyone that would buy it and just play like pop or country on it, but I know you'll play the hell out of it with shredding some Van Halen licks and some
everything.
That's a good find. Did you just happen to walk into the Guitar Center and it was there, or did you go online and find it?
No, on my video on my channel, I kind of did a little goofy spoof what I did. I actually was at work and I wanted to buy a Wolfgang. I have a Wolfgang Standard and I have the USA, and I said I wanted to buy a Special. And then I wanted to get a Bumblebee. And I'm like, what should I do? Should I get the Bumblebee? Should I get a Made in Mexico Special? So I just happened to go on the app and I just typed in Wolfgang. And right on the top, two of them popped up. One was black, one was this with the Floyd Rose, and the other one was this one.
Right. And
I clicked on the Floyd Rose one, and I went to go look at it. I looked at the photos, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it in the cart. And when I put it in the cart to check out, it said, product unavailable.
Gone
So
quickly. Yeah.
I'm like, what? All right. I went back, clicked on the photo again, gone. So I went on this one, and it was cheaper because of the no Floyd Rose. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at the photos, and I saw one little ding under a little scratch, little scuff mark on the edge. And I went, you know what? The rest of it looks pretty good. And I did the same thing. I'm like, if I order it and I have it delivered to the store, to the house, if I don't like it, I can bring it back to the Guitar Center. And no, it came in one piece, and I looked at it, and right away, I didn't have to do any intonation on it.
Oh, wow.
Seriously. I just tuned it up, and I was playing chords up and down the fretboard, and I went, wow, oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Great find. Cleaned it up, and when I oiled up the fretboard a little bit to clean it up, that bird's eye just popped out, and I went, oh, I got to record this. So I just grabbed the camera, and I go, I got to put this video out. And then I asked Tony, I'm like, hey, man, yeah, I didn't think I was going to like it, man. Seriously, it was one of those things that I wasn't. A couple of my friends go, what made you buy the hardtail? I'm like, it's not like I went, Floyd Rose or hardtail. Instantly, I went for the Floyd Rose, man. I was just like, oh, I gotta get this one. Yeah. Black chrome Floyd Rose. I'm like, all right, I gotta get it. Gone.
Was that one made in Japan too? The black one?
Yes.
It was. Wow.
The black one was like a 2011, 2012, I think.
Wow.
This one's 2011 from the serial number. My USA one is 2010.
How many years were they in Japan? It was only like a couple, right? What, like 3 or 4 years? Or was it more than that?
2009, 10, 11, 12, I believe. Yeah, 4
years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Nelson Rodriguez, how you doing, dude?
What's up,
Thank
man?
you, brother. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you, Nelson.
Thanks, dude.
Nelson's awesome.
Thanks for being
That was a
here,
good
brother.
question Tony had up before. Someone had asked R2, how is the action?
Oh my.
Because with those hardtails, you should be able to get it like bullet low, like as low as
it is
you want.
ridiculously low, and I even brought it down a little bit lower, and it was too much, so I had to bring it back. Because I just wanted to see how low. And then when I was playing
before, they had the action so low and it was not buzzing, and I said, okay, that's silly. Because when the action's that low, like 10s feel like 7s. Because literally, it's like it must be great if you had hand problems, but it literally is like you don't mean to touch it and you do.
Yeah, it's I've done the test of fretting real hard on them. I know some people, if you have jumbo frets and you chord and you press down real hard, you can throw off the intonation, the pitch of a note if you're punching down on it.
It'll go sharp.
Yeah, it'll go sharp. And I noticed with this, just putting that pressure on it. I don't know if Eddie was thinking about that. I was just thinking about that the other day when I was playing chords. I was just pressing down real hard, and it was real hard to throw them off tune. So everything just stayed in pitch. I was like, man, this is nice. This is a nice guitar to just play to lay rhythm tracks down or something, to play chords. And, even jam. I mean, why not?
That's beautiful.
Well, Eddie's guitar tech, Tom Weber, said that everything on the guitar basically was the same as Eddie's, except they changed the nut locks, because Eddie wanted them super effing tight. They put the titanium ones on.
That's and then what I did here.
They put the titanium saddle locks and the
screws, right?
Intonation,
screws.
Yeah, intonations and the screws. Anything that they had to adjust on a regular basis, on a daily basis, doing tunings and setups, those were all titanium. He said the original one, though, when he played that standard, it was a Korean block. He said those worked fine. They never had a problem, but all the rest was the FU tone upgrades.
Nice.
I bought a USA Stealth.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it from Chris Hubbard, who makes the replicas.
Yeah.
So he was building the Back to the Future car, and I guess he was getting rid of some guitars. So I got an unbelievably great deal on it. I jumped right on it, and so I get the guitar, and I had some dings and things on it like that, but I didn't care. It made it cooler, you know what I mean? Sure. And but sure enough, as I looked at the guitar more, and then I got one of that Young Guitar, the Japanese magazine, and it had photos of all Eddie's equipment in it, and it had that from the tour. It had some great pictures of it, and I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden I started to notice that all of the FU tone stuff is on this guitar too, like you just said. The screws for the locking screws. He's
a Van Halen nut.
Yeah, and
have you ever heard him play this stuff?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
absolutely, yeah.
And drums too, man.
Yeah, drums too. Yeah. So but as I'm looking at
plays
it,
as good or better than he builds on stuff.
Yeah, he's got some incredible collection of stuff too. So
wet setup and
but it was identical. And I'm looking at it matching up. So he did everything, and then I noticed a couple of the little scratches that are in the photo he had on the guitar too. It was just like it's exactly like that one. I didn't even realize it, So
his attention to detail on the relicking stuff is insane.
Unbelievable. It really is. Yeah, definitely.
Hubbard's great, man.
Like I saw pictures and I'm like, oh, he's that nerdy. Like he's doing blow-ups of like, a 5150 guitar. And I'm like, oh, that's how you get that much detail. You really just put the time in and you literally look at it this big and go, okay, that's how that line in the paint goes.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Him and Rob Johnson, man. Him and Rob Johnson are just ridiculous.
Yeah, he did it. Hubbard did the tour relic, from 2015. For my friend, and I couldn't believe it. It was just like
it's funny because people think that's subtle, but look up close. There's a lot of small.
It's all X-Acto knife, like crackling done with an X-Acto knife on there and everything.
Yeah, the checking.
Who did the original one? Was it Chip Ellis? Did the one for Eddie?
Yeah. And a lot of people thought that when you paint a guitar, I guess you put it in the freezer or something like that, it'll crackle automatic from the cold. If the paint's not set, but apparently Chip didn't do that. That was like X-Acto knife. I guess every little crackle, check mark, and everything was all done by hand on that thing. So
I think EVH is using some sort of poly now that resists temperature cracking on purpose because you don't want your really nice matte black cracking if that's your stage guitar. You know what I mean? But I guess that's why you would have had to do it. all. I can't imagine doing that by hand.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we can't forget, and Lenny mentioned in the chat, can't forget Scott Smith. He's the king. Scott Smith is the OG, the original, right?
Well, how about the guys that are so nerdy, that the guys that build them to the detail, so the other ones besides, how about Stofko and Butala and the guys making bodies?
I know Stofko had a great weekend.
Chris Locke literally went, and went crazy getting like the dimensions on the body and literally looking at it like with a 3D scanner from photos of Eddie's real one and insane technical shit.
Stofko went up upstate New York to some festival this weekend. He was invited up there, and he brought what he calls the Space Wolf. It was a Wolfgang with like this. It's just amazing if you've seen it. And he brought his Frankenstein replica that he actually did more work on it. And the band Slaughter actually played his guitars on stage live. It was cool. The one guitar player was playing Space Wolf.
Was that the same one as Caleb's Space Wolf?
It looked exactly. I'm pretty sure it looks
like
exactly
the silver,
like that one.
Yeah, charcoal black.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so I forget what they call it in automotive, but like a large flake.
Yes.
It looks like you're looking into something like this deep when you look at it. It's insane.
Exactly.
He brought it out. It was Instagram or something. He brought it out in the sun, and I was like, "Damn! How many clear coats does he have on that? Like, buffed it to like the highest level."
So he's got some great video on his page of that. He's standing off to the side of the stage in this festival.
I gotta see that.
And they're out there playing his guitar. It was really cool.
His work is insane, especially when he's done.
Nice.
Like I have an Axis, a first year Axis. Because I couldn't find any Eddies, and then the price went to like $7,000.
Right.
But it's purple, but it's faded. But I was like, I'm thinking about sending, to him to re-dye it because it's getting really faded.
He's a madman. I don't know when that guy sleeps. That's all he does.
He seems to always be working.
Or has a job because he's. I'm like, I don't know how he does it.
Bodies and necks hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
Reverend Kurt is behind the wheel. Hey, Kurt. Nice to see you, dude.
Oh yeah, Kurt, Donnie Ward.
Donnie Ward too. Donnie Ward he's another great player too. If you listen to him play, and I told him the other night, I go, you got to write a book on the Frankenstein guitar, the history of it. I go, this stuff's got to be recorded, and he knows he's like when we say Van Halen nuts about that stuff. If you want to know anything about the Frankenstein guitar, go to him. He knows like crazy stuff that nobody should know. He knows, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely is.
That's cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And the kid, the guy, Nick.
The kid,
the kid.
Nick, that's what's Mandalora.
Yeah.
His work is one of the guitars he did that I think Dave Nesdall owns now. I think it's one that he made specifically just made for Dave. So he literally put in more time and made it uber correct for Dave's Frankenstein replica. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Let's turn the corner right there. Dave Nesdall got married yesterday.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Desiree.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dave, if you're watching. Yeah.
Man, awesome.
Yeah.
They got
Speaking of
married
Dave,
yesterday. Yep.
David Lee Roth. 1986.
David Lee.
Take it away, Tony.
Oh, Lord.
So, Tony, this is your favorite Van Halen album, correct?
Which album?
5150.
It's one of them.
I thought you told me it was your number one. No.
Not quite.
Not
I
quite.
do like it though. I do like it though. I had to warm up to it.
Now the question, Tony, tonight.
Has anyone ever heard of Fair Warning?
Oh yeah.
There was a long gap there in between hearing "Why Can't This Be Love" on the radio and actually getting the album in my hand and hearing the first bits of "Good Enough." And once I heard that, I was fine.
Yeah, it was all good.
However many weeks leading up to hearing "Why Can't This Be Love" on the radio until getting the album, that was a little nerve-wracking.
You had to feel a little bit good because if you flipped it over, the 45 Get Up was on the other side. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? That's a little out of control on that one. We're good. We're going to be good.
Yeah. I didn't get that. I just heard the radio stuff. Yeah. It really looked like they, at that point from their history, that they were taking a hard left turn into God knows where, but they really didn't. A little bit they did, but that it was a great album. That came out in March of '86. And
March 24th.
They jumped right out on the road in April. And then Roth, we had all heard that he had got his new band and had Vi and Sheehan, and
it was one of the most interesting years in rock history, 1986.
Yeah, his record hit in July, and he hit the road. Van Halen played here in late May, and Roth played here right off the bat in August.
They started Eat 'Em and Smile on your side of the country, and I was on the West Coast. I forget what month it was. It was towards the end of '86.
Yeah.
At the Forum in LA. It was the weirdest year. It was the weirdest year. You know, I was talking about that earlier with you guys before the show. I used to feel real bad around in the late '80s. I was still harboring resentment. I was mad that Van Halen broke up. I mean, it was a drag going through '86 and having to see the transition of Hagar and see Dave do what Dave wanted to do and listen to all the drama. I mean, it was still interesting, but it was a bummer to have to go through as a fan. Although that was just for me. If you were a 5150 fan, a Van Hagar era fan, it's the greatest thing in the world. Coming up in that era, guys like Johnny Bean, you know, you've heard him talk about it. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful, because that's what you grew up on and that's what you know. When I saw Eat 'Em and Smile, I was there. I was with my girlfriend at the time. We were at the Forum. We had pretty good seats. I was about halfway back on the floor, so I could see everything that was going on. I could hear wonderfully. And I couldn't help but make comparisons between old Van Halen and Dave's new band. And it was blatantly obvious that he was trying to one-up his prior band. Even though he was being super negative about it, he would make puns and talk about it. I saw a lot of press about it before it occurred, during the whole thing. When Steve Vai and those guys all hit the stage, Billy Sheehan and Greg, the drummer's Greg, right? And
yeah.
And it was absolutely awesome to see those guys hit the stage. Absolutely wonderful. And then when they started to play the Van Halen songs, because the set list was, I said the other night, it's about 50-50, but it really was more like 65-35.
There's your list right there. Shy
Yeah, they did about
Road,
8
Unchained,
or 9.
Panama,
Yeah.
Oh Pretty Woman, Ladies Night, Everybody Wants Some, On Fire, Bump and Grind, Ice Cream Man, Big Trouble, Yankee Rose, Ain't Talking About Love, Going Crazy, Jump, and California Girl. So
Yeah.
there were actually a couple of more that Roth did of old Van Halen songs than Van Halen did. But that is and there is your dates of the Eat 'Em and Smile tour. He was in Charlotte. Poison opened up that show. They had just come out, had one song out, one album out. And I saw him there on the 18th in Charlotte. And again, later on, he played Greensboro. Let's see, where's Greensboro? In October there. Yeah. But the Roth tour was 111 or 105 shows. The Van Halen tour was 111 shows, so it was basically the same. And I'm sure business-wise, they did about the same. Yeah.
Yeah. It when I think the first Van Halen song that I heard Steve Vai play was Unchained, and in Panama. Now, towards the end of the concert, he played On Fire, and you know, the thing about it, the best part about watching it was the fact that he made it his own. He wasn't trying to be Eddie Van Halen, and his shadow was all over the whole thing. It was the whole time. And during that solo, it was really impressive. He takes his guitar off and he throws it down onto a riser, and it's just reverberating. And then he throws his fingers on it like a piano, and he starts fretting out the solo to On Fire. And then he picks the guitar up and throws it back on and spins around and continues the song. And that was the most impressive Steve Vai moment I think I've ever seen. I haven't seen him a lot of times. That's it. That was it, except for with Whitesnake. And so I haven't seen him a whole time. I've just seen him a couple of times. And but that was just absolutely impressive. It was impressive. And he even did a version of Eruption with his teeth, which was, I thought he was going to break a string. Now, he didn't do it, Eddie. He wasn't sounding just like Eddie when he did it, okay? He did his own spin of it. And he did it first class, okay? I have to say that those guys came off first class, and they pulled off an absolutely awesome show. But it was hard for me to see Dave have to do that. And personally, I would have much rather seen Dave back with Van Halen doing another album. That would have been the Eat 'Em and Smile Van Halen album with Eddie and Michael and Alex, possibly. You know, it would have been something else. And that's really what I wanted. And what I was saying backstage is having enjoyed the Roth era and having been disappointed and gone through all that drama, and it carried.
Hey, James.
I'm still talking about it today, so it's something that's still going on.
Hey,
Fans
Susan.
of the 5150 era, the Van Hagar era, experienced the same thing that I experienced when Sammy and Mike left the band, and it was actually probably worse for you guys as fans than it was for me in the Roth era, because there was even more drama. And it was hard for you guys. And I mean, we can talk about Gary Sharon all we want and everything. And it was it was something else that, and I'm not knocking it, because when it comes to Eddie, I want everything I can get. I don't, you know, I love it, and I don't care. I just want it. But since we're talking about specific things here, yeah, it was just as hard for you guys to go through that as it was for me to go through the Roth era breakup, and we all suffered. we all. And I was telling the guys this other thing. I was standing at a Ticketmaster in Hermosa Beach, California, sometime in 1986. And I was getting tickets for the Kinks, and these two guys from my high school, Mike and Steve were their name. They were standing in front of me, and they were getting tickets for, I think it was Huey Lewis and the News. And Mike looks at Steve, or vice versa, and he says to him, he says, dude, he says, Van Halen's coming. And he goes, dude, it's Van Hagar, F. Roth. And right there was the beginning of the Johnny Bean Discord, of all the drama in the Discord that's going on today. I think that's where it started, at a Ticketmaster in Hermosa Beach, California. So we just have to agree that Van Halen's an awesome band, you guys. I just, you know, the absolute fact. You're sitting there watching Roth, and I'm watching Roth with a completely different band, and all I'm thinking about, I can't help it, is Van Halen. That's what's going through my mind. And the whole time I'm watching that show, and it was a wonderful show. It was as huge a rock show as you could ever produce, as great a show as could be. And Dave was at the absolute top of his game. And that is that's the tour that set Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan at a level. And I would say that was Steve Vai's, maybe arguably, his best work.
Now, Charles, did Steve play solo? Did he do it like a solo spot? Or
he did a solo, yes, he did. He did. There were a couple of solo showcases, but he primarily in his guitar solo. And there were some like crazy moments during solos, during songs, where he did his own thing.
They did a solo near the end live on that tour where Sheehan and Vai had this duel.
They had a duel. Yeah. And when I saw them, I heard stories that they did it sometimes in concert for as long as 12, 15 minutes. But when I saw it, it was between 5 to 10 minutes. So maybe 6, 7 minutes, something like that. And it was absolutely spectacular, brilliant. It was as awesome as going to see Eddie play live. It was just as awesome as a guitar player and as somebody who just loves music. It was spectacular, man. It was absolutely spectacular. Well, I'd love to see it again, you know.
For us who are my age, who came out of the Roth era, and were really heartbroken that Dave left that band. When you bought that record, Eat 'em and Smile, and went and watched Roth that tour, maybe not on other tours after, but that tour, I, I mean, in my mind and heart, it was still Van Halen. You
You
could
know,
call it
and
David Lee Roth, you could call it,
yeah,
but it's still
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It was Van Halen.
yeah.
You
Now,
know?
when you guys hear Sammy Hagar sing Panama or Jump,
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about that?
Exactly the same as when I saw Brian and them playing with Roth. It's the same feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the thing about it is after you hear it several times, you know, you hear it over and over the years. Like for instance, now when I listen to exactly what you just said, it doesn't affect me quite the same because I've become desensitized to it. I've become used to it. You know, the music stands alone. So you know,
yeah, my friend of mine,
will appreciate it. Maybe
a big Van Halen fan, a friend of mine who go to all these concerts. He remember going to the Sammy Hagar, and he would tell me that's the time he would go grab a beer. He said when he would hear Sammy, hear the Roth era, because it was hard for him to transition. I mean, he loved the new songs and he was watching the show and everything, and then they said those old 1984 songs would come on and go with his brother.
If you've heard them done the right way, and that's another thing. If you've heard them the right way, not necessarily from the studio album, but if you've heard them in concert, done a certain way, they just hold a special place. That's what you expect, you know.
I can't watch Ain't Talking About Love on Live Without a Net. It's just It's almost like it's like a quasi disco version, like
you know when they started Unchained. When they started
that's
Unchained,
how it is with Sammy. That's how he does it. You know, he's like running around and like, you know. Go ahead, Charles.
I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No,
when they started playing Unchained, it took me, like, I swear to God, it took me 10 seconds to realize that was the song that they were going to play. He changed the intro up. He did his own, and it just didn't have the same vibe. And
well,
it took me a minute to figure it out.
The band Pearl Jam covering Panama. It's like, not quite.
Yeah.
Weezer
doing Zeppelin, you know?
Yeah.
Right. John,
not knocking Weezer. I've seen them a couple of times. They're cool. It's all good.
What was your take when Roth left that band and gathered up this new band and had Eat 'em and Smile and marched out on the road like that, and Van Halen got Hagar? What was your take on all that then at that time?
I was very angry, as a lot of people were. I was pissed that Roth. I feel like Roth broke up my band. I blame Dave. I bought Eddie's side of it, hook, line, and sinker. When I completely took their side in the whole thing. When 5150 came out, it was totally different. I expected it to be a lot different, and it was. And I figured, listen, my band, Van Halen, is dead. It's still Van Halen. Like Charles said before, Eddie was in it. Whatever Eddie did, I don't care. Or the Sharon stuff, I love it all. I would listen to a half hour of him playing the cello or whatever. I don't care. But so I was firmly in that camp. But I will say, when Eat 'em and Smile came out, I did go see the show at the Meadowlands, and it was a great show. But I enjoyed the Eat 'em and Smile songs more than I enjoyed them doing the Van Halen songs. Because to me, it just didn't feel right. The stuff on that album. Yeah. And you know what? And listen, guys, how blessed were we that we had that amazing, those two albums out in 1 year. Nowadays, we never get that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like we were lucky. Right. People don't know how lucky we were back then. Right. In 1 year, a few months to have those two amazing albums, And I didn't hold anything against Steve Vai or Sheehan or any of those guys, because Steve Vai I already had known about, because from Frank Zappa's band. It was like
Alcatraz, right?
Yes, exactly. And he was everybody said he's just a great guy, and he is. Even all these years later, he's just a phenomenal guitar player, great guy. And I wanted to see what they were going to do. It was like, this is great. So it's crazy, but if Hagar never joined Van Halen, Eddie would have never been able to do this other stuff that he could do. You know what I mean? And then if Roth didn't leave Van Halen, you would never have to eat him and smile. So I listen. It was all meant to happen, and I do feel that by 1984, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but Van Halen they had to implode. When you burn that hot, it's got to explode, and it did. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was it. So
during when they blew it at the US Festival, I blew it. I say blew it. You know what? It was cool.
Yeah.
1984 comes around. I go to the concert at 84. It was one of just the best concert I'd ever seen him do because there was no drama and it was beautiful. Right. It was wonderful. And I said to myself when I'm watching the concert, these guys are forever. That's how great they were.
I was the opposite. I was like, how are you going to top this? You know what I mean? It was just like, you're here. Yeah. I always refer to like the Police when they did Synchronicity. They were at Shea Stadium here in New York. And Sting said, I'm looking at there's 70,000 people out there. We got the #1 album all over the world. And he said, this is it. We got to stop because we're at the top and it only goes down from here. You know what I mean? So he pulled the plug. He said, that was the night I decided not to pull the plug on the Police. So, I feel it's a similar thing with Van Halen is like, and I'm glad they were able to try other things too, because we got that great 6-pack of albums. We got some great music with Hagar, different kind of music, a different side of it, and we got some great music with Roth, and especially with those guys. We
don't have, guys. Do you know what we just absolutely don't have? When Roth left Van Halen, it created like this cataclysmic shift in everything, and Sammy Hagar, who was at the absolute top of his game. I had just seen him. I've seen him a few times at concert. He was absolutely wonderful. Changed his entire direction from where he would have gone. We lost Sammy Hagar, the band, and Sammy the Red Rocker. Yeah. Gone. So that's something else that we lost because of what happened.
Sammy was no dummy. I think he knew what he had there. And Ted Templeman kind of says it in his book. It was saying that, listen, I thought Roth would be back. It would all blow over and he'd be back. But he goes, when Hagar got in there, he goes, oh, this is going to cause a problem because if, they're not going to, it's not going back now. It's over now, And
I know all you 5150 guys, you're like, it's great. I'm glad he left. I'm glad he came to Van Halen because that's what you love. And that's
now the thing about Roth is, and Kid and me have spoken about this, there's reasons why Roth is known as the best frontman of all time. And I think that the way that Roth's career went, we'll put it like after Skyscraper, it kind of went down a little bit.
I think he burned out.
It kept right on going. I think that younger Van Halen fans who prefer the Hagar era, I think that if Roth's career from 86 on had been awesome and he'd have been right there punch for punch with Van Halen, 86, 88, 91, 93, 95, their view on David Lee Roth might be different.
I think you're right, 100%.
Well, Kid, you said about the sunglasses. What was that you said?
Yeah, don't look through history with revisionist eyes.
Right.
They're revising history. They're pretending that the first, was it not even a decade, right? 2 + 4, 6 years?
Yeah, right.
That's all it was, right? Because it was an album every single year, right?
Yep, the first 6.
I mean, there's no denying by 1984, or I argue before that, by 81, they were the greatest rock band in the world. No one could touch them.
Yeah,
and that legacy stands. You can replace somebody,
yeah,
but it doesn't negate what they were before. It doesn't.
Yeah.
they carried on. They became a bigger band, and all the power to them because Eddie's so talented. But that first incarnation, you know, lightning in a bottle and rock and roll only happens a few times. Led Zeppelin in their peak, Van Halen in their peak, AC/DC with Bon Scott. I mean, you can count them on less than two hands. Legendary bands at their peak. Van Halen, first 6 albums, that's the best they ever did. You're never going to touch that. You can live off of it for 40 years. Many bands do it. Almost every band does.
Yeah.
That sticks around. But you're never going to beat your peak. And the other thing is I maintain a band only peaks once. You can fudge it through your eyes and say, okay, then this record wasn't as good as that one, but then they came back and they were better. But the bottom line is a band only peaks once.
100%.
Only peak once.
At first, I was gonna disagree with you. At first, I was gonna say that Aerosmith actually came back and bum, but you're absolutely right. Even
Don't get me started on Aerosmith. You don't want me to hit you.
They weren't as big. They weren't as big.
Aerosmith got off the drugs. Zero creativity. They had other people writing their songs, and they became a completely different band.
100%.
Similar to Van Halen, with much less integrity. They became a pop band.
Exactly.
Aerosmith to me died in 79. 79 to 73. That's Aerosmith. After that, yes, they're bigger than ever. Bigger today than ever.
Right.
Still the biggest band probably of a rock and roll band. And I give them kudos. It's still the 5 original members.
Yes.
But they're a shell of the band they were.
And
they couldn't write a song to save their life in the 1980s. They had song doctors writing their songs. None of their songs are written by Tyler or Perry.
No, they had like Bryan Adams' songwriting partner wrote a lot of their hits in the 80s with them, you know. He'd come in with the idea and work with them, you know.
Let's take a water break. I've got some unboxings. I've got 4 really cool unboxed Van Halen unboxings.
Nice.
We're already an hour into it. Let's take a little water break and let's
Desmond Child saved Aerosmith, says.
Right.
Yeah, Desmond Child, another one, right?
Exactly. All right.
The king of Miami
today than they were in the 80s.
All right. This is one of 4.
Nice. Like the hat, by the way, Tony.
They get much better as they go. I'll say that.
Yeah, nice hat.
They get much
that's
better
a cool hat.
as they go. This is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, dude. That's
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man.
That's
excellent.
That is awesome.
Is that real? Did the crew make that up?
No.
That's cool. Now I want some M&Ms.
Very, very cool.
No brown ones. When I've mentioned this too. When I first we went in May and saw Van Halen in Greensboro, and as good as Eddie was that year, I mean his playing was absolutely at his peak. I think, just killing it. But when that show started, and it was Ed, Al, and Mike there, but it was there was something missing. It was like being 12 years old on Christmas morning, the first Christmas that you realize there's no such thing as Santa Claus.
What?
You know, it's still Christmas though, and it's still great, but there's that little element of magic that's just not there anymore, you know.
I think the tension had left the room, you know, and I think that tension is good for rock bands in a way. You know what I mean? I think when there's that kind of tension around the members, I think it's just explosive. And I think when Sammy came in, I think a little of that explosive, stuff disappeared. It was everybody was happy. You know what I mean?
That's what Dave always maintains. He maintains that their differing viewpoints and their conflicting personalities was what caused them to be great. And it's hard to argue with the results.
I agree. Yeah.
Aggressive, angry music.
Yeah.
Well, Hagar should have realized.
They got soft.
He was nervous at first, but I mean, us Van Halen fans, we accepted him immediately. Once we heard that record, it was like, okay, you're okay. Don't be nervous. Rock on, you know.
We can work with this.
Yeah.
Actually, the first couple of songs that they played in the radio, I was not really, I was not too happy.
Oh, yeah, me either.
Not that happy camper until I heard Dreams. No, I'm sorry, 5150.
5150, yeah.
Is an absolutely brilliant song.
No matter what era, that's one
perfect
of the
song. It's a perfect song. It's one of my. If we do a show talking about my favorite Eddie Van Halen songs, period, that will be on my list.
Charles, I think it's the best song on that record.
I believe it is.
And,
in fact, period, it is. But the solo in Dreams is a solo that is so iconic and so pure. I think, you know what, I'm going to say that. I don't ever use this word before, but I'm going to use this word to describe something. It's the purest Eddie Van Halen solo I think he ever did, in my opinion, because his tone kept evolving. So you've got the technology behind his audio equipment. It got better and better and better. And their ability to reproduce his sound and the quality was as good as it ever has been. And then they put that album out. And to this day, that may be his most well-known solo in a song, even worldwide. I would say it's his purest solo his purest solo he ever did.
Well, it's a very melodic solo. It's very lyrical, and you can almost.
Well, it's an extension of the lyrics. That's the thing. It's a melody, and it goes right along with the lyrics.
Yeah. It's like a Gilmore solo.
Yeah, well, it's actually something that Eddie and Sammy did, even though they did it the same way. He did it with David, but they didn't do it in the same way. David had more of a vaudevillian she-bop-you kind of it was more bluesy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Zoobity zoobity bop, zitty bop.
Yes. And yes, it's different, right? So they do the same thing with Hagar and with Eddie, and it's what we get solos like Dreams, because he's emulating this music that the vocalist is singing. That's the kind of influence that a vocalist had. Look at the influence that the vocalist in Van Halen in the entire scope of the band, how putting a new lead singer in changed the way that the songs were written by Eddie and the way he played guitar. In fact, when 5150 era started, he went from being a solo one-note player. He started putting chords into songs and progressions differently. You guitar nerds know a whole lot more about that than I do, but that's just like an obvious thing that I hear in the music. And it's not better or worse. It's what we got. And it's awesome. But 5150 is a perfect song. It's a perfect song. And it kind of outshines the whole record.
It does. I agree.
You know, until I heard that song, I was not a fan, and it's just I was jaded anyway, guys.
Well, if you want to learn your triads and your open chords really well, and you already are like a, you know, beginner to intermediate and want to get better, learn that whole album because it's just triads.
Yeah.
It's triads and open chords, but it's just very well executed.
It's,
You know, I'm not saying all of it's
now,
easy.
you know, I try.
I'm not saying all of it's easy to play because, you know, the rhythms are the difficult parts, in my opinion anyway, but man, its use of triads is, you know, really evident on that album.
I try so hard to play it. The thing about it is I'm critical, and it ain't easy playing Eddie. That's all I'm going to say. You know, guys, everybody tries it, but there's a few handful who do it really well. And when you hear somebody play it, Caleb Rappaport, for instance, he's on like another level. He's on another level. He just emulates Eddie's style. That's his thing, and he's so good at it. He's so good at it. And shout out to Nerd Halen. Hey, Nerd Halen's doing a show. They've got a show booked.
Oh, really?
Playing, guys. I wish I was in LA for maybe a month.
I was gonna say, I wish they'd come to the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear that record, and I did this in '86, I imagine what Roth would have brought to those songs, you know.
Well, you know, when A Different Kind of Truth came out, I was real excited. I was real excited because I thought, oh man, I'm getting it back. You know, we're getting it back. We're getting another shot at it. It wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. Eddie was not the same guitar player. He wasn't the same musician he was. He'd evolved. He grew, you know, just like we all do. And he grew in a huge way. And so after leaving Roth and playing with Sammy and then playing with Gary and everything else he got involved in, he comes and he kicks out A Different Kind of Truth. And as a fan, I loved it. I'm glad to get it. But it was not the same. It was not the same. And we never got back I never got back my original Roth era Van Halen.
Can't go home.
You guys are never, unfortunately, Eddie passed away. So now you know where I'm going with this. And I always thought I was going to get to see Van Halen again. I just knew I was going to see Eddie again.
Charles, you
don't ever count on it before you get it. So
you gotta see it as half full. It could be worse. What if Wolfgang did what some sons of very famous people did, and he was a fake Eddie clone, going back out? Because you know, if that was him, he'd be like, "Come on, Uncle Al, do it for me." And you know, Dave Lee Roth would be right there. And wouldn't that be much worse if he was like, "I'm going back out on the road as my dad"? You know,
that's it.
Not naming any names, but you know,
that's Kurt's new build.
No way!
Wow,
dude, that is so cool.
Nice,
man.
Nice. Kurt.
Beautiful.
Analog Kid, you got a Van Halen face tattoo, I see.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did that hurt? Oh.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you mean by you got the disco version of Ain't Talking About Love? Break that down.
Just the way
you can't get away with a statement like that without some detail there.
I did only one per customer. I did my impression.
We're talking about Kiss or Van Halen?
No, he accused Eddie
Live Without a Net
up a disco version.
He's got this floppy like soccer mom haircut. He's running across the stage. Oh, Eddie!
You're gonna get crucified for this, Tommy.
I don't care if I get
You're gonna get crucified.
Oh, I hate that.
Look at that hair.
I absolutely hate it. Like, but in Live Without a Net, he had grown out a little bit, so he looked like a soccer mom running across the stage, but he's singing like Michael Jackson. Oh, Eddie, come on, Eddie. It just, to me, was like so not what like the teenage me wanted.
There's your bullseye, kids.
That's the guitar of Eddie's I like. I'm not into the 5150.
That's your bullseye, kids.
Hey, we need those that sound effect machine that Johnny Bean has.
That's the real style you want. That's the one you want. Not as accurate on the back of Sony's or anything, but you know, that's the one you want. Not that one with the numbers on it.
Jeez,
That one
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you how much you
nice,
sleep with that guitar, but I guess you do, man. You put it right there next to you.
Of course, I sleep with that guitar. I don't have a girlfriend. California King, you got to have someone sleep in the bed next to you.
There you go, man. You got your priorities in order. Totally.
That's my girl right there, Frankie. You know, like what was the movie where the female's name was Frankie? I think. But anyway.
Nice. Let's do number 2 here.
That's beautiful, John. Did you build that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow, great work, man.
Thanks, man.
Great work. No, honestly, I love all of the guitars, but that is my favorite. But amazing work. I'm not saying if someone offered me a 5150, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do the deal.
Yeah.
All right, so
Lenny Lou, I made that one with my son.
All right, kids.
I forget what we did.
You all know that I'm a fan of all genres.
Well, I'll have a date there.
Of music.
Do not bet Tom.
Do not what?
Kurt 5150 just typed something.
Oh, do not. Gotcha.
All right, let's see what we got here. So, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago. Let me put that down there. Alex and Eddie.
Well, thanks, Lenny.
Showed up at a Kenny Chesney show and jumped on stage.
That was awesome.
With him. Let me see what I got here. All right, so that's that. All right, so check this out. I've got both of these guys' autograph on other things around the house, but check this out.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
Oh,
awesome.
Come on.
That is cool. Wow.
What?
Wow.
You gotta love Kenny Chesney. You gotta love Kenny Chesney.
Eddie went country, man.
And this was 2010, 2011, I think. No, it wasn't. This was like, oh gosh.
2008, 2008.
This was in between 04 and Roth coming back.
Probably 06, right? Maybe.
Yeah, because his hair's still long.
Kurt 5150 says Zeke Clark is the connection.
There
That's
you
what
go.
he said in the chat.
That makes sense.
Cool. Nice, Tony.
That's crazy, dude.
I listen to his radio station, No Shoes Radio, on Sirius sometimes, and he plays Van Halen on. It's like, it's his own music and stuff. Like he plays whatever he wants, but you go on there, he's got Van Halen on there all the time.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, it's nothing to watch the guys and hit his band walk out on stage and be wearing a Van Halen shirt.
Well, it's like Brad Paisley plays Hot for Teacher and Panama and a bunch of songs live. I've seen him do a bunch.
Yeah, and one of their videos, I think he did a song with Tim McGraw, and one of the guitar players is playing a Frankenstein, one of the 25,000. I think it was one of those replicas. Something about a rock star. The name of the song is. I saw the video, and the guitar player is playing a Frankenstein in it. So,
nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of those Nashville cats are all metal and hard rock guys, and being that there's no more of that music around anymore, they all went to Nashville, and they're all because you hear some of those guys are monster players on some of those country records now.
Well, I mean,
Mike Johnson, what's up,
dude?
Hey, Mike.
A guy I know that lives in Nashville got off of a country tour, and then like several weeks later went out on tour with like a modern metal band.
Yeah.
You know, filling in because their drummer or guitar player rather, you know, couldn't make it for like, I think it was 10 shows.
It's like Perry Richardson, TK, who you had last night on Show Me
Country and
Country in between the metal.
Yeah.
Firehouse and Stryker, and then played with who do you play with?
Trace Atkins.
Trace Atkins and who was it? Morgan.
Craig Morgan?
Yep.
Craig Morgan.
Yep.
I think of his first name, Craig Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he ran sound on tour for Craig Morgan. You know, and I think he's got like a degree in marketing or something. I mean, smart dude. You know, really
that
well
was
rounded.
a lot of fun last night.
He was so
having
cool,
Perry
man.
on. Yeah, that was great, man.
And he's humble because he's a monster player, and he's like, I don't know, I just play rock.
Yeah, Perry sent me a package of some goodies, and I'm gonna do a unboxing here on the channel in the next couple of days after it arrives. Yeah, I'm not sure what all is gonna be inside, but yeah.
Bocephus
mode.
That's what Lenny Lou said.
Bocephus rules and rules all. So I think that when Roth put that album out and hit the road, Van Halen put their album out and hit the road. I think by the end of that year, it's fair to say that we all loved each album and each band. You know, Roth's wasn't Van Halen, but Van Halen, even though they still call themselves Van Halen, weren't quite the Van Halen that we were all used to. So it was, but it wasn't. But I liked them both. I liked them, but I will go as far to say that just for the end of that calendar year, just
Lady
for
Black
that year, I think by the end of that year, it did appear at the time now, not looking back at history, but at the time, Roth was winning that race.
Yeah, he was trying as hard as he could too.
But the thing
like,
about it is, the Van Halen album sold 11 million compared to Roth's album only selling 2.
Wow.
So that's the difference. You know. Yeah. But Roth I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He put together a hell of a band, you know. And
too bad he couldn't have kept them together. I think
that
was part of the problem, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Sheehan left first.
Yeah.
And they got Greg's brother Matt on bass. But yeah, they were magical.
Supergroup.
That was a great group and a great show.
Rock and roll is scattered with the highway of dead supergroups. Supergroups never last more than a record or two. They always implode.
That's right.
Egos.
Yeah.
That's right.
Egos.
Yeah.
The drop off to the next album, to a Skyscraper, it was it was big. I thought. I was like, whoa. I mean, there was some good songs on there, but it was
even big. It was huge.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was shocked. You know.
Yep.
Not as heavy, not as hard.
Yeah, just not as much personality. Like on Van Halen albums, Michael Anthony's the way his signature bass play style, his voice. Eddie's got his own tone. Alex has got his, those guys. Sheehan had his own voice. Vi had his own voice, and by the next album, it was just like, okay, Vi is here, but I don't, how into it is he? I guess he was pretty much into it, but it just didn't gel like that first,
It was just kept changing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't settle in on anything. You didn't know what to expect.
Right.
The whole reason that I couldn't wait for Van Halen 2 to come out is because I had heard Van Halen 1 and I knew Van Halen 2 was going to be more of what I heard on 1.
Right.
And I didn't know that, but that's how the result was. Well, once I was trained to what I wanted Van Halen to sound like, I just left it up to them, loyal fan over here, to keep giving me what was good. You only got it for one album, really, with Roth. Eat 'Em and Smile. And it was good. Real good. He couldn't get out of Van Halen's shadow, no matter how hard he tried. Now, he didn't want to. It was like it was bittersweet. He was way conflicted, and he was burning that candle wide open at both ends for the fans. He did it all for us, Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It is there is two sides to every story, but when they're doing an album and a tour a year, and Roth says that, Roth had his side stuff, his little EP and his little movie thing that he was doing. He had a big hit. We all know that. That's part of the whole image and legacy of that band anyway. But when he says that he wanted to go out on the road and work, and the rest didn't want to get out of bed, whatever happened on the inside between him and Ed, and he took a hike, and Van Halen comes back and says, well, Dave wanted to be a movie star and this and that. I tend to believe that I don't agree with the fact that he ought to have left, but the fact that he wanted to work and they wanted time off, I believe that's what happened.
He was very public about it. He was very public about it.
Do you guys remember in 1988 they said that David Lee Roth's father called Eddie to ask Dave if Dave could come back in the band? I wonder if there was any truth to that. I don't know if you guys had ever heard that, but they said that his Dr. Roth called Eddie.
And Dr. Roth was a trip. When I was working at the Whiskey, I would be there. I'd be an off night. Like it might be like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I'd be all alone standing in a hallway. And usually it was a girl who would come walking up, and it was there was different girls and things of that nature that I learned, got to know. And every once in a while they'd come up and they'd say, have you seen Dave tonight? And I would say either, yes or no, boom, boom, boom. She said, well, I talked to his dad a little while ago, Dr. Roth, and I'd be, yes, I hear that all the time. I heard that all the time. His dad was you could call his house. He'd give his phone number out and his dad would answer the phone. And I heard stories of his father like this many times in the course of a year. That's a trip that you said that. I just thought
I believe he was into it, the whole thing. But
it seems like he did.
And I'm sure he knew them well from rehearsing in his basement when they were kids, really, ultimately. But I remember hearing that, and it kind of stuck to me. It's like, wow. I mean, maybe Dave, figures, hey, listen, I really do need to get back with these guys. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. And I think that was around 1988 or around that time when apparently I thought it was Eddie that said that Dr. Roth called him, about it.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
Dave knew that he made a mistake.
yeah, I think you're right.
I think he may have known right off the bat.
I think Dave just craved the spotlight, and I think, he thought it was all about him. I think it really did. In 1984, it went to his head thinking that, hey, it's me they're here to see, you know what I mean? And I don't need these guys either. So, the hell with them. And then the same, the reason I say that is because in 96 on the MTV Awards, he got a little taste of that again with them for 5 minutes, and it blew up right then too. So I think that, there's some truth to that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Let's do another one.
All right.
Before it gets
all right,
too late.
you said they're getting better and better. Let's go.
They're getting better and better, dude.
All right.
All right. All right. Now, I had this last week. I was going to unbox it, but we got so involved here on the show that I totally forgot. All right. Oh, Lord. Oh, my Lord. I am tripping on this. Let me take them out of the bag. You guys own any Crocs? Shoes?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Crocs?
Yeah, my kids do.
Yep, kids do.
My daughter does, yeah.
Get out.
No way. What the
Oh,
Man,
pick up on it? That is pretty cool.
Come
man.
on.
let's match that new tattoo, Tony. That's
Hey,
beautiful.
honey, you got to check this out.
How did they make that? Who made those? That is, what's so cool about it is the fact that it has the pickup and the Floyd Rose on it and the neck. That's awesome.
That's great.
Come on.
wow.
Excellent.
They do it from an image, I guess. Wow.
Here.
Well, Tony, you got new church shoes there.
I know,
There
right?
you go.
I've got the other EVH.
Tony, let me see those again. Put them up to the camera again.
Oh, that's great.
Come on. I'm showing my wife right now. She's like, come on. That's not real. They're real.
That real?
I don't know, unless Tony painted them when we were looking.
No, I think it's done from a photo, it looks like a etched. Either I don't know how they
It's got the tag on them too.
Either etching or printing.
That's so
That
cool.
is wild.
Printed on probably.
That is cool, dude. I want a pair.
I've got the EVH, the slip-ons, and the ones that lace, the low cut, red, white, and black. Now I got some Crocs.
Excellent.
Nice.
I give my kids crap for those shoes. Now I want a pair.
Yeah, but they have EVH on them, I guess.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'll show you later. I'll show you
Hold my
later.
leg up. Can't quite do it. Anyway, they fit.
Excellent.
That's cool, dude. That is
And
totally
they're
cool.
comfortable. Yeah. Yeah. Wear these things to the grocery store tomorrow night.
There you do.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Brendan turned me on I got a link in my. I was like, oh, Crocs, cool. I'm getting them. Yeah. Yeah.
Camp, why? Are Crocs that comfy?
I had never seen any of the Crocs until recently. I've had the other ones for a long time. I don't wear them often. I try to take care of them, but now you see them online and they're like crazy expensive.
Yeah.
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 EVH hadn't even got them in their, or the EVH store rather doesn't even offer them anymore.
Oh, the Van Halen store?
Yeah.
Or the official?
There's that store and there's that new EVH store
EVH
that's
store,
like
yeah.
a year old or something. Yeah.
It's like EVH gear or something.
No, it's not gear. Probably, I
It's
don't know,
official
maybe a
though.
couple of years now, but
Yeah,
it's
it's the official.
EVH.
I know we have the Van
Yeah.
Halen store, but this is another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they both run by the company? Same
They're
company?
not both run by the company. This EVH store, this new EVH store is a EVH. It's their stuff, but the Van Halen store isn't Van Halen at all. It's not at all. Um,
Is the Van Halen store that's not from the EVH company, is that tied to like the news desk or what?
they are. They
Yes.
are.
I thought so.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
They probably got some licensing agreements so they can.
Oh, they have to. They
Yeah,
will
sell
Yeah.
the stuff.
sue the bejesus out of them.
I hope
big
that
time.
I hope that store has. Remember that shirt I had it. I love it. I want to get another one. The Flying Eddie one. Remember from a few years back?
I have that.
I have it too, but it's shot. I need a new one, but they don't sell. I can't find it anywhere
Wasn't it
anymore.
like 93?
That was a good. No, it was actually I think 2006 or 7. It was from that tour.
I have the one.
He had the short hair. It was like right, towards the top here, and then on the back it said right on the back it had the EVH logo, and it said something under that.
Okay.
Something wear stripes.
Yeah,
I have that shirt.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
His shoes are
in color.
striped.
Right,
Yes.
striped.
I have that
exactly.
shirt. Yes.
Yeah,
I was gonna wear that tonight too.
Yeah, I have that shirt, but
Does that have the laces tied with the 2 striped shoes on the front?
No, that was from the '93 tour. That was a tour shirt. Yeah, this one is Eddie flying through the air doing that split kick. It's like towards the top.
Yeah, split kick.
Okay,
the shoes are red, and it's got like the guitar cable going on to the side over here.
Exactly. Like yeah. It's a great shirt. I wish they'd reissue that one. I love that shirt.
Yes,
I'm sure some bootleg has it.
Yeah, right.
Now, back in the day, from 1980 to 1984, I was a member of the actual fan club. You got a card and you got the certificate, and they would mail you this pamphlet out each year, and it had all the shirts of all the tours and other caps or whatever else, and you could order
get the old ones. Wow.
But yeah, you mail off a check and you have to wait like 8 weeks to get the stuff. And I ordered off that back in the day. Yeah.
Did they give you a necklace for free from joining?
Yeah, they should have.
They didn't give you the VH pendant for nothing?
No.
You remember what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, what you got was you got the packet and you got the certificate. You got a 8x10 of the band and you got a 8x10 of each one of them.
Well, that's cool.
And I've still got all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Good times back in the day.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to order off that stuff.
Keith blew all his money on that catalog.
Okay.
Keith, man.
$15 a year. That's worth it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan clubs have come a long way now. You know, I'm surprised if if Van Halen was still around. Some of them are high tech. I joined a couple, and boy, you get like pre-sales to shows, and I mean, I couldn't believe how great it was. It was like $40 a year, but you get pre-sale. I mean, in tiny little venues and stuff, and they play. I was like, unbelievable. You know, so they've come a long way.
Which ones was there like a specific band that you joined?
Well, that one was I was always a Police fan. I mentioned them before, so it was like a Sting one, and I got to see Sting. I mean, literally 2 feet from the stage, and he's a pretty famous guy, Sting. And I mean, I literally got right up in the front. My friend came with me. He's like, "You got to be kidding me!" I go, "No, I told you, man. This was how it is. You're right up, literally 5 feet from the stage in a tiny little club in the city, like a private party." I got to see the Police in the Apollo Theater in Harlem. I mean, the night before their final show ever, they did a show with Elvis Costello, and they played in there. And it was like, that place is tiny. I couldn't believe it. It was like, for $40 a year to get into the. I was like, this is great. So, I wish back in the day, Van Halen had something like that. That would have been awesome. I have to say, Van Halen was really good. Like in '98, when I got to go to that party I told you guys about for the album premiere, but after that, when they hired Irving Azoff, then it became all business. They monetized everything. The sound checks, it was like there's a dollar amount on everything. And that's the way he rolls. And, I had heard at one point that Eddie was very bitter about the 80s, that they didn't make the money. I always point out Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi's worth $250 million. And Van Halen was the American Led Zeppelin, and they didn't make that kind of money, because of management or whatever was going on with them, at the time. But I think the reunion with Roth, other than, besides Eddie getting to play with Wolfgang, I think that really they said, let's make some money. You know what I mean? Let's make some retirement money. And they hired the right guy, the Eagles, guy. He kept them together and made them $1 billion. So,
Yeah.
And judging from the cars that Eddie was buying in after those last few tours, those Audi R8s and then the McLaren he bought towards the end there, is like, my friend is a car nut. Yeah, my friend was a car nut, said, he must have had a lot of money, dude, if he's buying a McLaren. And I go, yeah, I think he did it.
Well, he wanted that day for the McLaren because there was a video from it, and they shut down the shop for him because they're like, well, we basically made our, I don't know what business you work in, John, but whatever business you work in, they made their nut for the day, basically.
Sure.
And they're like, we don't need to sell any more cars today.
Yeah.
Shut the shop down for him. Just give him a space. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
How many McLarens you sell? It's like,
I know. And just the thing, he used to drive around in that Lamborghini Miura, which, if you know that car, it's like the original supercar, and those cars are worth up to $2 million.
But they said it was like his guitar. He didn't care. He just drove.
Yeah,
it. And the shop was like, yeah, send me the bill. Just whatever.
Yeah. If people want to go on YouTube and you Google it, Eddie Van Halen Miura, all these videos come up about just these car mechanics in LA and stuff like that.
People following him around. I've seen the videos. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But they tell a story about how his went on fire once. Like the Lamborghini Miura was notorious for going on fire. Yeah. I guess there was no return fuel line, so fuel would spill out of the carburetor, and it would run down in the headers, and it would ignite, and the car would go on fire. And it was a known problem. I was watching another video one time, and the guy was going to buy one, a wealthy guy in Great Britain, and the wife was like, why are there 4 fire extinguishers in this car? Is there something I need to know? But anyway, the video about Eddie was, they brought it up in the middle of it, saying that, Eddie's Van Halen's went on fire, and they said he was running red lights, and he's flying up Coldwater Canyon to get back to his studio, and he called him, and he said, open the gate, and have a fire extinguisher ready. The car's on fire. And they said he was flying, with the car on fire all the way back, got it there, and they were able to put the fire out, and with minor damage to the car.
Wow.
But yeah, so YouTube, a guy was telling the guy who worked on his car. It was actually a really funny story.
That's crazy.
There's a bunch of great ones like that about him on there. They were into car.
Apparently he was at Claudio's all the time hanging out because he just ran those things into the ground. But to me, that's like, if I had that kind of money to buy those, I'd drive the hell out of them. What are they for?
It's unbelievable.
You know?
That Miura was a special one too. It was like a wide body. It was different than.
There was a video of a guy in traffic. I think they were in Dubai somewhere. I don't know the layout of the city, but they were, in some section of the city in Dubai, and the guy revs the engine while he's waiting at a light, and it just catches fire.
Here's another interesting one. Before you go with that, there's another video on there. If you Google Lamborghini Miura Eddie Van Halen, and it's got the isolated stems, the tracks for Panama, and the guy plays it without the vocals on it. And when it gets to the solo part where the Lamborghini is revved, he turns off all the other tracks. So all you hear is them revving the Lamborghini up to like 7,000 RPMs. You can hear it like a few times that you don't hear on the album. You can hear him revving it up, and it's really cool. You got to check. Cool. Definitely check it out. It's really cool if you can really hear it. Everything else is shut off. It's pretty cool.
Keith Campbell said, "Rest in peace, Claudio."
Yeah, that's right. Last week, right?
Passed. Yeah.
Fix all the stars' cars, apparently.
What is up now since the internet age? A lot of bands' websites have been really good, but for 10 years at least, Van Halen's has been non-existent. Nothing on it.
Yeah. I just don't think they cared, I really don't. Valerie Brightener said Eddie Van Halen didn't even want to do Van Halen anymore. It was the only reason he's doing it is because of Wolfgang. I really don't think they cared. I think, I don't think they would have done anything ever again if Wolfgang didn't kind of want it to happen, at all.
Yeah.
Because look, it can't be about money, because if it was about that, we were talking about the remastered albums. Put them on, put box sets out. They could do all that. Put concert videos, all this stuff. We would eat that stuff up. They would make tons of money off it. But I don't think they care.
Wolfgang.
I don't think Wolfgang's is Wolfgang planning on putting on the albums, or did he say he wasn't going to anymore?
I think in the future they're going to look at it.
Wolfgang, speaking of Wolfgang, he starts his tour that he's rehearsing for now. He starts the 29th of this month at Hershey Park, opening the Guns N' Roses tour. And that's just a couple of weeks away. And
what are we, Tony? 7.5, 8 weeks away from the show, right?
From our show?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's coming fast now.
Yeah. But that tour starts in a couple of weeks.
When is the Hershey show?
The 29th.
29th, yeah.
Yeah. So we will be covering that tour here when it goes down.
We'll have to see if there's any last
show, the set list.
People that can't go.
We'll be covering that tour as it happens right here every Sunday night. Yes, so very excited about that. And yes, Charles and me are going September the 29th, is it, Charles?
Yep, along with Ty Price.
To Raleigh. Yeah, can't wait. That's going to be
excited, man.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Going to be awesome.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
July 31st.
Wolfgang's girlfriend had this little thing on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, where the doors cracked open and you can hear them inside rehearsing. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Super
Yeah.
cool, man.
loud
Yeah,
as hell
man.
in there from the sound of it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
about 3 weeks away. It's the 31st. It's a Saturday night though in Hershey, but that's not
Yeah.
too far from me. So if anyone has any cheap tickets, I might go. You get a lot of people around here that just buy tickets and then they can't go a couple days
Gotta
before.
go, Tommy.
You got to do the
Just
analog
show
kid
up.
move. Just show up at the show,
Just
right?
show up.
Oh, I've done
That's
Show
it,
up.
man.
If it's any show in the like Philly or Jersey area, as long as it's not more like than like an hour and a half drive, I'll just show up because you wait. I did that when I lived in Pittsburgh too. You wait till like, dude, you got like a couple $100 worth of tickets on you, and you only got like 20 minutes to sell them.
Yeah, right.
The opening
Dude.
band already played, the actual real band. So I saw Bon Jovi from a luxury box with unlimited drinks, unlimited food, like above the crowd. They go juts out a little bit, but perfect view of the stage because I didn't want to be crammed in anyway. And I paid $60 for the ticket. It was Bon Jovi. I'm like, not a huge Bon Jovi fan, but it was a great show and it was all the food and beverages you wanted.
Let me interrupt you, Tommy.
Go
You're
for it.
talking about opening night of this Wolfgang tour, his first solo tour. It's one thing to be able to see this tour, but you live a stone's throw from the opening night venue. Dude, you got to go.
Yeah,
Come on.
The
But I
first
also
show
live
ever, dude.
I also live in a situation where I do not live a stone's throw from anyone who's ready and willing and able to watch my children that I can guarantee they will do that so that I could, go and do that. That's why I said I would never buy a ticket ahead of time. Definitely be a last minute thing that if I was able to that particular day, I probably wouldn't know till the night before or the day of the show. I'll go down and do that, but that's how, I've seen a lot of bands like, 7th row, 13th row. I don't think I've ever been front row, but like 2nd row, 4th row.
Dude, I hope
Go
you can
right
go,
before the
though.
concert.
I hope you can
you
make
go,
that
Tom.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people though in this area that would be going to that show are the kind of people that have the money just to buy the tickets ahead of time, and they'll a buddy of mine would just always like buy 4 tickets to any show you wanted to go to, and if he couldn't sell them, he'd just dump them for like half the price. So those are the people I look for. I'm like, all right, I'll take 2 at half of face value, and get my buddy and go with him.
Opening night of that tour, I wouldn't care where I was, just as long as I'm in the building.
It's the beginning, man. It's the absolute beginning.
Yeah.
The good thing about Hershey is there's a tremendous amount of parking, so you don't have to worry about. You're not going to walk like I've been to places where I've walked for like 3/4 it felt like maybe 3 miles, but it's probably 3/4 to a mile just for parking, to get to the start of the parking lot. It's ridiculous,
It is.
But Hershey kind of is here, and then all the parking's like this, which I think is smart,
Yeah.
Well, at our show, we're going to meet at a sports bar.
Cool.
Next door, and they charge you to park there too, and not in the main lot. We're going to meet there in the afternoon and eat, all park there. We're going to go live here on this channel too while we're there. So that's
awesome.
going to be cool. Yeah.
If I can go down, I can go to Hershey Park during the day too, like prior to the show if I go down.
I would say that night, Charles, if we meet at 4, we'll probably go live 5:30 or 6. Yeah. So a lot of fun upcoming.
I can't wait.
All right, kids.
Uh-oh.
Here it is.
There it is.
This is
There's
it.
a Wolfgang in there.
It's several separate body. Like that was parts, and one was a body, and then he's got a long, thin one in the neck. He's gonna put it together on the air, and we all have to stay on until he gets it totally set up on air. Right, Tony?
You guys are gonna like this.
All right.
Nice, man.
This is cool here.
Take a thumbnail right there. We have that Frankie right there.
Oh, whoa, goodness.
Oh,
some
what is
flame.
that?
So some
What is
flame.
that?
Oh,
What is that?
dude.
Ooh, that looks sweet.
Oh, man.
Come on. Let's see this.
Analog kid, man, you're getting crazy with those face tattoos, man. Added even more now.
Oh man, look at that.
What does it say, dude? Nice.
Yeah, Van Halen.
Dude.
Oh, it's the
2004. Whoa.
Nice.
Look at
All
that.
denim, dude. That's a beautiful shirt, man.
But look
You
at the
kidding?
patch.
It's embroidered, dude.
Oh, look at that.
Tony, is that more like a shirt or is it more like a light jacket?
It's a jean jacket.
Jean jacket.
Get the
Now, is
Wow.
that a flat, like, imprinted logo, or is it
It's
embroidered?
Yeah.
Wow.
where's
Wow.
Dave's
man.
name?
Wow,
Wasn't on that
Tony,
tour.
that's super cool.
That is
This
very
Is the
cool.
VH a patch?
No, this is
It's
all
embroidered, huh?
embroidered.
It's raised embroidered. Takes a long time to do.
This is what they sold at the shows
Wow.
in 04.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Let's see the back of that thing again, man.
I like the flame logo. That's pretty cool.
Wow, Tony.
That's awesome. You definitely saved the best for last.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That is wild, dude.
Nice, bro. Very nice.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. That's embroidered.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I thought it was a patch. I must have.
You know how much that must have cost at the show?
Probably at least.
Oh yeah. That was like they had one
$300.
Yeah, I think about $300
that's what I'm
bucks. Yeah.
thinking.
It was 300.
At
3
the
to
show,
4
probably.
300 to 400, probably 350.
They also
Yeah.
in 04 they also sold those heavy black winter jackets.
Oh yeah, I remember
It's
those.
got the yellow
Yep.
VH on the back and just yellow Van Halen. I've got that too. That
Wow.
thing is thick. However cold it is outside, it's still too damn hot.
Wow.
I mean, it is toasty. I rarely wear it.
So it's
You
the
can't
opposite
wear
of stay frosty.
it is. You can't wear that
That's it.
thing long. You're roasting. Yeah.
That's because you live in North Carolina.
Well, on really cold days, 8 degrees, 10 degrees, I wear
Oh,
it,
that's got to be good.
and I come out of that thing in a hurry. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. But yeah, another jacket. I got one not long ago, a 95 Balance Tour jacket a little while back. Yeah. But yeah, I've had my eye on that thing for a while, but it was just getting the right price, getting the right deal, you know. So
Very nice, man.
Very nice.
all right, kids, it is It is midnight. We've been going a couple of hours now. We are going to call it a night. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much.
Love you, chat.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and we'll be back right here next week again to talk more Van Halen. Want to thank Tommy and Analog Kid, John Conklin, R2, Mr. Charles Green. Yeah, always a pleasure, guys. I want to thank everybody in the chat.
Take care, you guys.
You guys rock. Thank you so much for being here. Nice to see all of you. Have a great week this coming week. Let me give a little plug next. This coming week on my other show, Show Me Your Picks, Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be spotlighting Quiet Riot on the 17th.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Tom and Analog Kid Charles will be on board for that. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. We're out of here.
Take care, you guys.
Any last words there, Charles?
Hey, just don't forget that all roads lead to Van Halen, you guys.
Woo!
Great week. We good. Rock on.
Eddie Van Halen forever. Right on.